Welcome back, everyone. Back to Cinema Scrutiny. Um, we always talk about TV, film, and streaming news, which we will this week. But it's been a tough week. Um, my name is Billy, your host, and my co-host here, John.
How's you doing, everybody?
Yeah, and it's just been a tough week. Um, you know, as we all know, Chadwick Boseman passed away a few days ago from colon cancer, which he was fighting for the past 4 years. And no one really knew about it. He didn't tell anyone publicly, um, and it was a personal struggle he was going through, and just really sucks. Just really sucks. I honestly, I felt, it felt like this is gonna sound really corny,
Mm.
but it felt like when Kobe died. It
Yeah,
felt very. And when Kobe died, and I found out, I was on set, and everyone was kind of freaking out, but you couldn't really like show your emotions because you're kind of in like a professional setting in a certain way. You don't want to like break down or anything. And I was also at work when I found out about Chadwick Boseman, and I didn't break down or anything, but when I got home that night, I teared up a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
yeah,
he was a great actor. Um, one of uh, one of my favorite personally in the past few years. I mean, Black Panther aside, I mean, just really, really talented, like super talented guy.
yeah. Great
Um,
actor.
do you have any like specific moments or films that you really like about in regards to his like discography? What he contributed to us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just like speaking to what you were speaking about earlier, just like hearing about it, like when you sent it to me, I almost straight up didn't believe you.
Yeah,
Like,
it didn't sound real. Didn't
yeah,
sound real at all.
instead of clicking your link, I just Googled it because I was like, "There's no way." Like, you just got a bad link. No fucking way that could happen.
Yeah,
But yeah. I mean, I've been a fan of his pretty much since 42, which was in 2013, the Jackie Robinson film. I thought that was great.
yeah.
And
That's
then,
also one of my favorite films of his.
yeah, I hate to say it, but I think my favorite film, and not like my favorite moment for him, is probably in Gods of Egypt because it's such a fucking terrible movie. And then he shows up, and you're like, oh my God, why are you here? But he does good. Like, he's the best actor in the whole thing. Like, he brings, like, I don't even know if it's just because it was him and I was just excited to see someone that could potentially save the film. But I was like, oh my fucking God, it's Chadwick. Like, we're like, it's gonna be less bad, but nah.
Yeah.
And then,
No. Yeah.
yeah, he's only in it for like, I think like 10 minutes. It's kind of like a side thing that they do. Not to spoil the film that was terrible, but like,
It's okay. Gods
he's
of
the
Egypt.
saving grace of Gods of Egypt. So
Yeah. I mean, honestly, uh he was a standout. Everywhere he was a standout. Even in the MCU. Like,
oh, of course.
I mean, I know a lot of people want to talk about Black Panther, and some people have already said, what's gonna happen with Black Panther 2? Let's not even talk about that. Like, just let's give it some time. They'll figure out what they need to do. But the guy made it, and like he made Black Panther an iconic character in the
Yeah.
mainstream. Like, I mean, he was always iconic in the world of comic books and stuff. But we're talking about like cultural icon. Like, what, like Wakanda is like. It, it means so much to so many people. Like, it's insane. Like, I don't know. I along with you, I really like his performance as Jackie Robinson. That's also where I found him. Where I first discovered him as an actor, and I think it's also probably my favorite performance of his because it's just so real. I don't know, like I felt like he was so committed, in everything he did. He seemed so committed and so overwhelmingly into it, you
Yeah, I
know.
agree.
Um, and of course, he also had Get On Up, where he was Jackie Brown, I believe.
James Brown. I don't really know the
James Brown.
movie.
it was Get On Up. I remember it a few. Yeah, James Brown, and it was a few years ago. I remember when it came out, 2014.
Hmm.
But it was also like just like Jackie Robinson. It was like a huge commitment to the role. Like people said, it was like incredibly accurate
Mm.
and all that. It was
It's a biopic.
yeah, it's a biopic.
Gotcha.
Um, Same thing with Marshall, where he played Thurgood Marshall.
Mm. Yeah.
Another one. Um, Recently, he did 21 Bridges. He was in The Five Bloods, the Spike Lee movie.
Hmm.
Um, he was gonna. I felt like he was on track to win an Oscar at some point. He was that good. Like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, do you have any closing thoughts, I guess, on Mr. Boseman?
Um, I don't know. I mean, hearts out to the family and everyone who's affected by this,
Yeah,
obviously. I'm really interested to see his last performances because he was still working up until the end, pretty much.
yeah,
Like this dude for having stage 3 and then stage 4 cancer didn't quit.
yeah,
Like he
not at
was
all.
really putting it down, and they don't have the official release date on it yet. But Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is a movie that he's in that's coming out, and
Right,
he is also he's voicing T'Challa in the Marvel What If series, and that comes out next year.
that's right.
So
And
he
we don't know
will,
if he's recorded anything for that, but
yeah, I believe
hopefully it's
he
there.
has, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess
with you
we'll find out.
100%. I'm with you 100% on all that. Um, Very excited, to see whatever his last performance may be, and yeah, and I know a lot of our this podcast is mainly viewed by our friends and people we know personally.
Mm.
But by any chance, if any of you guys or any new listeners are listening today, we are linking down below St. Jude's cancer research if you guys want to donate, because that's where Chadwick Boseman visited a lot of cancer patients while he was, going through his struggle and his
Hmm.
battle. So just felt right to put it down there and bring some awareness,
Yeah.
just to put it out there. So very sad, very tragic, but um, words needed to be said today about him. He's iconic, iconic actor of our time. So anyway, moving on from the sad news. I mean, there is one more sad story, but not like this.
I feel
But
like a lot of these. There's two more sad stories, but yeah,
is
it's
it?
a different kind of sad. It's disappointing.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, anyway, moving on. We have this is such like this is such a hard transition because you can't like transition out of that
No, there's
well.
no
So
transition. Yeah, we just gotta we just
we,
gotta take it.
we just gotta go. We just gotta take it on the chin. All
Yeah,
right, guys. The CW has just announced they're making a live action Powerpuff Girls show.
yeah. Terrible idea.
Oh my god.
Terrible idea.
Now, okay. The CW, like their DC shows do well.
Mm.
Big following and all that. But between like you've seen a couple of the CW shows like Arrow or Flash
Yeah,
or whatever.
my dad watches Arrow. He liked that, but like,
Now,
and then obviously we have a lot of friends that like the Flash.
right. Now, I would say that those shows are entertaining. But if we're going to talk
All
about
right.
quality, not top tier.
Nah,
Not top tier.
they're working on a
So,
budget, but there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, no, and I think they do well with the budget that they're given.
Hmm.
And I respect their what do you want to call it?
Commitment to the budget.
I mean, not even that. Like, I just think I respect their commitment to the source material because
Yeah,
they
that's
really
true. They
go into
really
like
hit it.
on the Flash. They really like go comics accurate with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I
So
feel like
I respect
CW
that.
definitely hits it better than a lot of the DC film.
Mm, I agree, but I really don't know what you could do with this Powerpuff Girls show, this live action show.
Mm,
And I used to watch the show back in the day, like the original show.
yeah.
So when I initially first saw this, I was like, "That's sick." But then, like, you think about it more, and you're like, "Oh, what are they gonna do?" Like,
Nah. So here's the one liner from the
yeah,
IGN article, which is from a Variety article, which is from probably another article. The story is of disillusioned 20 somethings who have recent. Hold up, my phone alarm's going off because I'm an idiot. It's about disillusioned 20 somethings who resent having lost their childhood to fighting crime. And you know what that sounds like? Garbage. I can't. It's like, it's this. I mean, it's a CW thing. Like, I know it
Yeah.
is. Like, they take Archie comics. They're like, what's Archie about? And it's like, well, it's a comedy about like 1960, 1950s America. And they're like, what if we made it about fucking teenagers? And I don't mean like fucking like angry. I mean like sexual teenage fucking. Like, what the fuck? That's not what
Yeah,
Archie's about.
I don't want to see a sexually charged Powerpuff Girls.
It's gonna be sexual. It's just they're making a young adult, like a teenage drama, and it's gonna yes. They're saying fuck. Like, I don't even, what is there gonna be, like an old ass monkey in this? Like, I don't understand.
That'd be kind of funny.
It'd be so weird. And like, what are these 20-year-old girls gonna beat the fuck out of a monkey?
You remember that like giant monster that like ravaged through the city? It was like a massive like it was like a Power Rangers type of situation. Like I don't think they could do that in the show.
No,
Like
that's why I'm saying it's not gonna be about fighting crime. It's not gonna be about the Mojo Jojo. It's gonna be about fucking dating people and just happen to have been a superhero, and you're like, oh, the paparazzi on my life. Like, what the like? I hate it. I'm pissed.
very interesting. Honestly, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it looks like.
I
Well,
can't
what
even
the
imagine.
I think it's gonna be very weird. And
Yeah.
probably won't like it, but I'm definitely gonna be looking into it.
Yeah, or
Like,
it's gonna be like the struggle of a single father trying to put three girls through college or high school or whatever. I don't know.
yeah.
Or maybe if they're 20 something, they
Powerful.
moved out so they can drink and get fucked up. I'm just pissed. Like, it's a show about like kids fighting crime, and like this is like making Kids Next Door about adults. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
That would definitely suck. Anyway,
It's tough.
well, good luck to the CW with that one. We're definitely going to be looking into it.
There's
Whether we report on it is a different story, but we're definitely going to look at it.
yeah, that's true. The
They may point and laugh. We don't
hold
know.
up. The new project is from writers and executive producers Heather, I don't even know how to say that, Regnier, and Diablo Cody. They've worked on Veronica Mars, iZombie, Sleepy Hollow, and then Cody wrote Juno, which
Yeah,
great film.
it is great. Yeah,
But she also worked on Jennifer's Body and Young Adult. And Jennifer's Body was the Megan Fox one where she's like a vampire and she like seduces people and then like kills them.
yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, whack.
That was a weird.
Whack.
Yeah. Well, I guess the good news is Greg Berlanti's involved, and he's like the writer or like executive producer on the DC shows.
Sure. Yeah.
So I would say he's like qualified enough to take on whatever he needs to. So
Yeah, I guess. Well, yeah. We'll see what happens.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
I wonder
We'll see.
how they even get the rights from Cartoon Network.
I think Cartoon Network is owned by Warner Brothers,
Oh.
so they're like a production
Sure,
type
yeah.
of thing. So the CW would have access to that. I believe TNT would as well if they decided they wanted to do something with the
Yeah.
Cartoon Network show.
Apparently there was a reboot of Powerpuff Girls in 2016. I forgot about that.
I forgot about it too until I saw it in the article,
Yeah.
and then I remembered that it fell off.
Yeah.
Didn't stick.
Interesting. All right.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Mhm.
Sad news. A show that we really like, Altered Carbon, has unfortunately been canceled by Netflix
Yeah.
after its second season. The third season will not be happening. This sucks.
It
This
sucks.
really sucks.
Big donkey dick, bro.
Yeah, it
I'm
does.
pissed. I'm pissed.
Okay, so I'm part of the problem here, and I'm gonna lay that out right now, because I didn't finish the second season, and
Which is fair.
I'll tell you
Well,
what
it's
I
not fair,
think
but
the issue with Altered Carbon was, at least my issue.
uh-huh.
First of all, I don't think that the second season was catching me as much as the first, and I think I'm gonna go back and finish it now that it's over, and like I just now that it's dead, I guess I'll just
Yeah.
go finish
Well,
it.
I promise you that like the second season, like I mean, we could talk spoilers, and I could ask you where you are, but like once I would say like the back half of it, it's like these other like these things happen that instantly hook you. Like I know it's sad, like it sucked to have to wait for half a season,
Yeah,
but like the back half of season two is killer. Like it's crazy.
yeah. I I just wasn't getting caught right away off the jump.
Yeah.
That's just me, and I should have just stuck with it because the first season was so great. Like I fucking love the first season of the show. Um, and I felt like in a way, and I don't know if you can attest to this or if you felt this similar, but
Mm,
I don't know if switching the actors was a great idea. You know,
yeah.
if you guys don't know, the first season, of course, Joel Kinnaman was the lead actor
Yeah.
of the show. Great, did a great job. Um, but like the concept of the show is like it's like a cyberpunk kind of reality, and people like live in sleeves, which is like different, like a body, like you can like download your mind into. So Joel Kinnaman was like the main character sleeve of like the first season, but then that sleeve like was destroyed or died. I can't remember. So they
Well, yeah.
changed. No, go ahead if you remember.
So technically, no, it's because the first season takes place on Earth, and then the second season takes place on a distant planet on like the other side of the galaxy.
Okay,
So
so
like,
he goes to a different sleeve,
yeah, it's been like 40 years, I think.
right?
So like his other sleeve is on Earth, which like he just hasn't been back to, so he doesn't have it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So in other words, it's a different actor for
yeah,
the second season, which they got Anthony Mackie on. Great actor, we like him. He's pretty good. But I feel like that if you're like as like a new watcher, it might be confusing. You know,
yeah,
like it's definitely a show where you have to pay attention to, like from the jump. And if you try to jump in on the second season, which I don't know why you would, but like if you saw them like advertising the second season, you'd be like, that doesn't look anything like the first season. Like I don't know.
yeah.
I think I'm just saying from an outside perspective, it might be like confusing or it might be a turn off just seeing like all this wacky stuff going on. You know?
Yeah, I think that was the point of the show though. Like I think that was not necessarily part of the allure,
Yeah.
but like obviously the point of the narrative is that like the body doesn't matter. So I
Right.
think and we'll talk about it, but they were originally going to go for 5 seasons. That was like their plan.
Yeah.
And I would assume they would have had a different like person every season
Probably.
cuz
Yeah.
like obviously and you know, there's still recurring characters from season to season.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, even Takeshi Kovac is like recurring. He's just a different character, like a different actor.
Yeah. He's just in a different sleeve. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
I
like
love the Butler.
what's
The
up?
Butler. I love the Butler AI in the show. He was
Yeah,
great.
Poe, he stays around. But like, I think that if the show was as good, and like you know, to me it was, but like if the show is as good as you think it can be, then having like a rotating main character, like all of a sudden that's like amazing. Like it just, I think it's so cool. Like if
Yeah.
you could have five like killer actors just be like the same person every season, like it's almost like SNL, like being the host, right? Like so you're like leading the character through this thing. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
So to me, that
Yeah.
was
Definitely.
interesting.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was a great idea. I just my point was just like from an outside perspective, it may be confusing if you haven't seen the show or something.
Yeah,
Just like looking scrolling through Netflix or something.
yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
but what a great show though. Like overall, like it was so sick. Like you know, you and I both like that kind of cyberpunk, you know, future kind of reality type of shit. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
Blade
great.
Runner. It's a great setting, and I think they did it really well.
Mm,
And and the show had endless potential, dude. The shit was great.
yeah.
But
So there, yeah. So part of the reason, like, just like Netflix just does like cost analysis, right?
mhm.
And according to Netflix, like it just wasn't getting enough viewership. But also, the rumored cost is that it cost like $10 million an episode.
Really, oh
Yeah.
shit.
which,
I didn't know it was that much.
but when you like when I say it, like that doesn't sound far off. Like when you look at the production
No,
level,
the production level and
like
also like paying the actors.
yeah, I mean to
Probably
be
too.
honest, like you could tell me like I mean it's not necessarily the same quality as like Blade Runner 2049, but if you told me this was a film, I'd be like, all right, like yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Like
It
the
was a
only thing that
great
makes it
production
look
value.
different is the pacing. You know what I mean? Like it's the narrative and the pacing. But if you just took a still, I'd be like, yeah, that's a film.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
yeah,
I don't doubt that Netflix was shilling it out. I mean,
yeah. I think that they're probably trying to like rein in general because they've also canceled a couple other shows recently.
yeah,
So I think they're trying to like prime their money back.
yeah, they might be trying to reassess,
Yeah,
move in a different direction. But you know, it's bittersweet,
yeah,
bittersweet movement on Netflix part. But
yeah. I
I
think
don't
if
know.
you've never seen it, watch the whole thing. Like it's really not that long. I think it's only like 16 or 20 episodes.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't remember how long the first season is, but
I want to say they're both like 8 or 9, but I also think they could be 10. I don't know.
yeah,
But like, if you haven't seen it, watch it. Um, and
might
maybe, to
stop.
be honest, if like you have seen it and you want to watch it again, because the rumor is that Netflix doesn't actually own the show.
Huh?
Netflix just like picked it up. So, because Altered Carbon came from Skydance Television, which I'm reading off the article.
Oh, okay.
But it's possible, like I've heard, not necessarily from this article, but I've heard rumors that Skydance is going to try to ship it around and see if it can get picked up somewhere else.
Holy, I would
Yeah,
love that.
which would be great. So like if you can, like if you watch it and you prove, Netflix maybe gives that number out, or maybe they give it to Skydance and they can use it as leverage. Be like, oh, we actually do get some viewers. And to be honest, like as funny as this sounds, like they could be doing 20 million per episode, like 20 million views an episode.
Yeah,
But compared to other Netflix stuff, it's not doing well. But like if you put that on Hulu, it'd be Hulu's best fucking show. Like you know what I mean?
that's true. That is
So
facts.
they could find like a smaller streaming service, and like small in quotes because they all have $1 billion.
This show would be popping on Hulu,
Yeah,
100%.
like Amazon be fucking sick. Love to see this on Amazon Prime, but I feel
Oh,
like
Amazon would give them more money.
that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I feel like they're probably spending all their money on the $500 million Lord of the Rings fucking TV show.
Yeah, they're crazy. They're insane over there.
Yeah, but that shit's gonna be fuego. I mean, honestly, if I was Jeff Bezos, and like I assume he's like at his heart, he's probably a little bit nerdy because he looks like a nerd. I feel like he was like, "Oh, how much do you want? Lord of the Rings? Yeah, take the whole billion. I don't go fuck. Like all my employees are underpaid at the most basic level of the institution. Yeah, nah, fuck that. They could just watch Lord of the Rings with me." So like,
Good old Jeff,
yeah,
shelling out his billions
I don't
for
know.
Lord
That's
of the
what I'm saying.
Rings.
Yeah, like, hey Jeff, like you like Altered Carbon? Buy some more seasons just for yourself, bro. Please. Oh my
Why
god.
not? Why not? Have a day. Why not? You know?
Yeah, honestly, as stupid as it sounds, I would love to see, and this has nothing to do with the show anymore. I would love to see a billionaire just buy a fucking season of a show that got canceled. Be like, I don't give a fuck. We're gonna watch this.
That would be fucking baller
It'd be
because
sick.
there there must be some kind of return on investment
Yeah, I
at
mean, you
some
could put it
level.
on a
You know?
streaming service, or you could, yeah,
I mean, as long as you don't like go for an Uber budget, like if you just shove a billion at a show, like you can't do
yeah.
that. But
I
like,
mean, even if you take like a fucking L, like I don't, who cares? Like you
I
got
mean,
your content,
if you
bro.
like it enough, then fuck it,
That's
right?
what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Why don't these billionaires like their content so much that they'll fight for it?
everybody at Jeff Bezos today, let him know. Altered Carbon, revive it,
Pick it up.
pick it up.
All right.
Anyway, speaking
Yeah.
of TV shows, we're moving over to CBS
Hmm.
with Star Trek Discovery. Season one is going to air on CBS.
Yeah.
You just watched Star Trek Discovery, and I watched a couple episodes with you. Um, are they on season three now? Right?
Yeah, so season 3 starts in October, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do remember watching the first few episodes of season one with you.
Hmm.
It was one of those shows we were watching together on All Access because of we got it
Picard.
because of a card.
Yeah.
But we decided, fuck it, let's watch Discovery because it's here. Shit was good. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
It has its ups and its downs. I think it's pretty good though.
I really liked the beginning of it. The whole like struggle, um, with it. She's not the main character though anymore. The girl, is she? I
She
don't remember.
is. She's just so like it's weird. She's the only main character in a Star Trek show that's like not the captain.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah. So she starts as the first officer, and then like some shit happens in the first couple episodes with the Klingons, and then she
That shit was crazy though.
it was crazy. She becomes the science officer, and this is another show where that production budget high as fuck.
Mhm.
Like you could literally just
You
take
could
one of
tell.
these scenes and drop it right into 2009 Star Trek. You wouldn't even notice. I mean, you would notice because it looks different, like with uniforms and stuff, but the quality is the same.
Yo, seriously, like I remember watching it, and I don't think there were other Star Trek shows like this, but they were insane on the lens flares in Discovery, if I'm not mistaken. They
Yeah,
were
it's
going,
not like that anywhere else.
dude. It was like they were like J.J. Abrams on crack, like just
Yeah,
like there were flares everywhere in the background,
that's how you
and
know
it,
you're in space.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, I forgot. Just reflecting off the metal of the fucking ship, dude. It was
Yeah,
insane, but the whole like storyline of the first season with like the Klingon ship was dope. It was so fucking cool.
yeah.
I kind of fell off because uh, John and I were jogging, and then John decided to sprint and left me in the dust.
I might have watched the whole thing. Yeah,
He definitely did,
yeah.
but that's okay because I enjoyed it for what I saw.
Well, we were running out of CBS All Access, and I wasn't gonna pay for it.
That too, we were very limited on our time with it,
Yeah,
and who wants to pay for all the streaming services? Am I right?
yeah. But
Like we talked about last week. But
yeah.
anyway,
So if you have like television, I think this is cool. But like another one of the other reasons, possibly the main reason I actually wanted to bring this up, was that so at like the reason that this is on CBS, they like I guarantee they do not want to do this. Like
probably
in
not.
nowhere in
It
their
pulls from
mind were they
CBS
like
All Access. Yeah,
yeah, like they had it on all access. Like nowhere in my mind were they like, oh, after a certain amount of time, we're just going to air the show. But I think it's interesting to see like how companies are reacting to the lack of content that is being created. Right, like
yeah,
there's no new show because corona, like COVID fucked everybody. So they don't even have anything to air. Like they don't have a new season of whatever show they'd be normally airing during this time.
right,
And somebody at their office was like, let's just take CBS All Access. Let's take Star Trek. We'll like cut it for TV because it's like, it's a little different. You got to cut it for television for certain parts.
right, right.
But, and then we'll just air it. And like people who don't have CBS All Access will love it. And like, Star Trek's going to be on public TV again or, public, depending on, you got to pay for it. But like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I think it's a smart move
Yeah, I think
overall,
it's great.
to be honest, because I think the show is like really quality. Like, there's some good shit. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, especially if like CBS is in a crunch and they don't have anything to show for like new content. I think this is great. Like,
Yeah, I
you're bringing
wouldn't be
it, and like
surprised.
if it pops off and people really like it on cable, then you might get more subscriptions. You never know.
Yeah, I would be running an advertisement for CBS All Access before and after like every fucking commercial break on the show.
Oh yeah,
I'd be like,
absolutely.
"You like
You
this?
want to see season two?
Yeah.
Go buy,
Like
go buy
you want to go you like episode 1? You want to go watch all of it right now? Here's a fucking free week. Go."
it. Crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'd be interested to see because like obviously CBS is a much bigger company, right? Like they have access to their own like streaming service.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to see if like, ABC maybe takes like a Disney show. Like I think just yesterday, like back to the Chadwick Boseman thing, they showed Black Panther uninterrupted for like the
yeah,
whole. They just like showed the whole movie,
right.
like obviously as like a like a tribute.
Yeah, it was a tribute thing.
But like I feel like knowing that Disney owns ABC, like they can do these things, right? So it's like they can fill the blocks of like open space,
Right.
and I'd be interested to see if like Disney pulls a movie from the vault of Disney Plus every Friday, or if like Netflix, like somebody buys like a season from Netflix of a show just to air on TV.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see. So
That'd be a pretty cool idea. You never know. Could be a new move for streaming services. But
yeah, it's kind of like how
let's
drive-ins are
see.
just playing old stuff, playing the classics.
Yeah, true. Well, anyway, moving on. We got some Disney animation news. This is pretty cool. Disney just announced their next animation project. I believe this is I think it's Disney Animation. Is it Pixar? I don't think.
I don't think so.
I don't think. I don't think it's Pixar. I think it's Disney Animation.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it is Disney
but
Animation.
yeah. So these are the same people who brought you Frozen, and all that.
Big Hero
Uh,
6 and
yep.
Moana.
Big Hero 6.
Or
Really
actually,
good stuff.
no, Big Hero 6 is. I was right.
Disney Animation basically has been killing it this past decade. Not gonna lie, they kind of
Mm,
had like a resurgence a little bit with Frozen, I think.
yeah.
Um, but they just announced like their next project. It's gonna be called Raya and the Last Dragon, um, and it's gonna be starring Kelly Marie Tran. And if you don't know who that is, she is from
Rose
Star
Tico.
Wars. Yeah, she's Rose Tico from Star Wars. Which,
Mm,
if you hate the new Star Wars, you've probably hated on her before.
which, shame
um,
on you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm very sad because she seems like a very nice person. But this looks really cool. Like, um, little
Hmm.
fun tidbits, I guess. It's their first project set in like the Southeast Asia, um, setting.
Hmm.
Um, and it's also the studio's first project done completely from home. They're like doing the entire like animation and production from home over Zoom calls. They moved equipment into people's houses. Obviously because of COVID.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, they just released their first picture of it.
Yeah, it's up at the top there. I'll grab it.
Yep, it looks like a big armadillo bear looking thing with Raya.
Yeah, it's like an
Like is
armadillo
her name?
gopher bear. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks cool. But
Yeah,
Kelly Marie Tran is going to be Raya, which is like the the lady in the picture right
the
there.
main character.
Yes, she's the
Indeed.
main character, and from what I understand, she's going to be leading Aquafina, who is going to be a human, or she's a dragon trapped in human form, and she's trying to
Oh,
get back to her dragon form. And like that's the plot. It's like her leading her to,
yeah, and
you know,
she's the last dragon.
she's the last dragon. Yeah, but I think it's cool. And like this is like the first like rendered image.
Hmm.
I think it looks sick. Like
Yeah, I mean, especially like it says some Big Hero 6 people are involved. Love that
yeah,
movie. That movie's insane. It deserves a sequel.
yeah.
Underrated, even though it's not. If you haven't seen it, remember it. Go see it.
Anybody who's seen Big Hero 6, they they know it's great.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
That's
that shit's lit.
yeah.
But yeah, I
But
mean,
and Moana too.
yeah,
Moana's also
Moana's pretty
really
good.
really good.
Yeah,
But what do you think? What do you think about all this?
I mean, to me, this shit just checks my boxes.
Mhm.
Like cool swords, yeah. Like Eastern Asia and like the mythology and just like like dragons and like the culture,
Yeah,
yes. Like if this is like a veiled like kung fu like I don't know. I'm getting kind of like it reminds me of Hidden Dragon Sword of Destiny. She's got the sword right there.
sure, sure.
But if it's like and that movie's about like protecting the sword, right? But if this movie's about like protecting the dragon,
Yeah,
like I'm about it. And also I don't know. I love Disney animation. They do good work.
they do really good work. And I love their CG animation too. It
Oh, it's
looks really
beautiful.
really fucking good. Like
Yeah, and like even this, like I already love the fantastical elements of like this giant like rock mountain with a giant hole through it, but there's
yeah, with
also
the
like a
sun popping
castle on
through.
top. Like oh
Yeah, it's hot.
yeah,
It's
it's
fucking
fucking.
hot.
I'm excited. Like it's just such good world building, and like if it looks dope, and like there's some good fights, like in Big Hero 6. Like, whoo, I'm
Oh
there.
yeah.
I just love adventure film. I'm sold.
Also, just like great actresses involved. Like
Yeah,
Kelly Marie Tran's cool, and Aquafina is underrated.
yeah, she
High
is.
key, big underrated.
Yeah,
So
I liked her in fucking. Well, she was obviously in Crazy Rich Asians,
yeah,
which she was funny in. But I also like her in oh fuck, Ocean's 8. Sorry, I kept thinking Super 8. I was
yeah,
like,
she is in Ocean's 8.
yeah, I like her
Also,
performance in
great
Oceans.
film.
Yeah,
Fucking awesome.
that's actually an underrated Oceans film. No cap.
Might have to talk about that in the future, but
Yeah.
that's for another day. But anyway, it's overall, I think we're both on the same page here. Fucking hype. This
Yeah.
shit's gonna be good.
Big excitement.
Yeah. So we'll keep our eye on that and give you guys updates as it comes.
Hmm.
But that pretty much wraps up our news coverage this week.
Hell yeah.
So we're gonna hop into our discussion topic as submitted by our good friend and ex roommate, uh, but in like we just moved away.
Hex
We
makes
it's
it
not
sound bad. Former is the
yeah,
word. Former
former
sounds better.
roommate. Yeah, not ex. Love you, Ty.
Mm,
But this week we're going to be talking about Project Power, the
yeah.
new Netflix movie that just came out a couple weeks ago. He requested that we talk about it, review it, give our thoughts.
Hmm.
So if you haven't seen Project Power, go watch it,
Yeah,
and
because
then
it's
come
good.
back. It's actually fucking good. Um, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. I watched it last night.
Yeah.
You said you watched it with your dad
Yeah, I watched
earlier
it
in the week.
on like Wednesday maybe because like obviously I was gonna watch it no matter what, but like my dad just came over and he was
Mhm.
like, "Hey, like, do you want to watch a movie?" I'm like, "Sure. What do you want to watch?" And he's like, "There's this thing called Project Power that Netflix is like advertising to me. It
Yeah,
looks like our kind of movie," and I'm like, "Ah, okay." So
yeah.
like,
This
you know,
it's anyway. Yeah, continue. Continue.
yeah, I was gonna watch it anyway, but I was just like, "Yeah, okay, we're watching it."
Yeah. Did he like it? Did he have a good time with it?
Yeah, we both had a great time. I think it's it's one of those movies where like it's not gonna win nothing, but it's good. Like it's just it's a good blockbuster like action film. Like it
Yeah, it was
just yeah
really solid. Like, yeah, I agree. It probably won't win anything, but overall, it's just like an action like blockbuster movie. Like,
yeah it
really,
was just a
really,
good movie. It's winning my heart.
yeah. And you know what? I remember in the trailers when they came out, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in the trailer and stuff,
Hmm.
and I thought he was gonna be like a bad guy.
Yeah.
But it turns out he's actually one of the good guys. He's like the co-lead.
Hmm.
Um, Supporting character. But I like as I started watching, I forgot he was in the movie, and then as soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh shit, it's Joseph
Yeah,
Gordon-Levitt!"
because he's
And
not
like,
really in
I
a lot of stuff.
he's not, but like, I think this movie reinforces that he's fucking sick. Like, he's a
Hmm.
great fucking actor, dude. Like everything he's in, he fucking kills.
Yeah,
And he was dope
honestly,
in this movie.
my and not to keep talking about what my dad thought, but like my dad would not shut up about how like, oh my god, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's so talented. He can sing, he can dance, he can act,
He can.
and
He
he's
really fucking can though.
and he was just so excited to see him in something again. And I was like, bro, like it's good. He's there. I know. But like he
It's
was
because
just
he's
so
fucking
excited.
great. He's
Yeah.
just fucking sick. But and like I guess that also kind of like his like the first big action sequence I think is the one with Joseph Gordon-Levitt with like the bank robbing scene
I
or whatever.
believe so, yeah.
I mean, what a chase! What a
Hmm.
scene! It was dope.
He was very
And
good.
like when like he takes the pill and then he chases the guy down and he finally catches him in the alley and he gets shot in the head, but like doesn't matter because he's got the pill and it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit!
It was
Like
great. I mean, he
what
still got fucked up.
great twist. Yeah, he did get fucked up, but it was an awesome twist for like the power setting of
Yeah.
like what's going on in the film. So
Yeah.
that was awesome.
One of my personal favorite things about this film is it does really well at foreshadowing possible power and like what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just like talking because like for instance when they're looking at like the when they go to like the Chinatown market or the fish market or whatever,
Yeah.
and like they go into the back and she's like talking to that one dude and he's like she's like I need protection. When they're looking at like the wall, like you see Casey Neistat up on the wall, like
Yeah.
he's coming later. Like you see a list of or like Jamie Foxx will like list possible powers.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, like there are, or like it might have been the drug dealer advertising, but he was like, oh, you could be, thermoregulated, or you could be, like, you could have bones that turn into weapons that like splinter out and break your bones, and then those things show up later in the film,
Yeah. Exactly.
or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
even his daughter, whose name I forget, but like when she's
Tracy.
yeah, Tracy sounds right.
Yeah. I
But like
think.
when she's walking out of the Genesis and like she stops for a second and puts her hand down, and then all of a sudden like the plant next to her starts growing. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, she's gonna save someone later. And then like Jamie
Yeah.
Foxx fucking eats shit at the end, and I'm like, that's gonna be fixed in a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was good foreshadowing.
Yeah. The whole movie had really good foreshadowing, and they really I feel like it really delivered. Overall, like especially with, like the power sets and stuff. Like you might think like overall like oh like the pill only gives you like 5 minutes of power, but like they
Mm-hmm.
really utilize those 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the tension they put on it with like everyone who takes the pills
Oh,
or
it
like
puts like a
uses the
stopwatch
powers,
on.
they have a stopwatch on their wrist and like they're ready. Like
Yeah.
it's like a very timed like sequence thing and like very calculated. Like really really cool idea.
Yeah, I liked
And
it.
I felt that way from like the first trailer that came out. It's like these power pills are on the street and people are taking them to get superpowers and shit. Like it was really cool, and I liked how some of them had like um you know backfiring side effects. Like Machine Gun Kelly's the guy who's on fire in the beginning,
Yeah.
and like you could see like his face is all scarred from like having like the fire powers and shit like that.
Yeah, or like the girl who like freezes to death at the end.
Yeah, in the middle in the nightclub,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that was also a great sequence. I really liked how they did the fight scene from like her perspective inside like the tank or whatever, as she was like freezing and shit.
Yeah, I thought it was a good shot. I felt like it lasted a little too long.
It kind of did, but I feel like you know what I think they were doing? I
Mm.
think they probably wanted to hide like some like
Yeah.
fight sequence and stunts just to kind of save budget a little bit,
Yeah, definitely.
which I could be wrong, but also like great use of that. Great cover up
Hmm.
if that's the case. But um yeah, overall fucking cool as hell. What a great movie. Like fun, really fun for like, you know, just like, you know, random Friday, Saturday night with the boys or with the fam. You want to
Uh-huh.
watch something random on Netflix? Like this is great.
Yeah, I think it's a great movie to just sit down and enjoy. Like it's good.
I think I think it'll get a sequel, not gonna lie.
Probably, yeah. I don't know what it would be about, but can
I don't
easily
know either,
conjure
but
one up.
it's an easy sequel pop
Mm.
for really anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts on the movie?
I mean, I feel like we gotta fill some time. Nah, I'm just thinking like, so I was talking to one of our friends, Mitchell, about the film,
Yeah.
and he said the real question is, do you take one of the pills? Because obviously you can get superpowers, but there is confirmed big chance that you just fucking explode.
Yeah, you could just die.
Yeah. So do you personally take a pill?
I think I'd take the risk.
Mm,
Not gonna lie, but I'm also a sucker for like superpower type shit. So, like,
that's fair. I
but are you
mean,
paying for it? I mean, it's kind of cheap. I'm not gonna lie. You're paying $500 to get powers for 5 minutes. Is that
maybe is
like?
the question. Because like
Yeah, well,
even once you
maybe I
get the
guess.
powers, you could get a bad power and set yourself on fire, or you could freeze to death.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's all tough. I don't
Yeah,
know.
some of them are really basic, like the dude who was just big and like had super strength.
Yeah,
Um,
that was
but then there was the
wacky.
guy. There was the guy who had like the bone spur, like sword shit going on. Like,
Yeah, they have that in Naruto too.
yeah,
So like it
he
wasn't super cool, but it was interesting to see.
he looked like do you remember that game from like 10 years ago? It was called Prototype.
Yeah, they
Remember that?
look like prototype.
It reminded me of that, which was kind of sick.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I'd take it. I don't know. I'd take the risk.
I don't know. To me, it reminds me of like drugs in the real world that like you can either get super high or you'll instantly fucking kill yourself.
Yeah, I
And
mean
it's like,
it's a good contrast.
yeah, and
It's
to
it's telling it's telling a story, John.
yeah, I know it's a little allegory, but like I don't know. To me, that like it's not worth the risk, just because like I don't know. I don't really need to get high. I say no to drugs. Nah, but like I don't know. Like if something could like if it's like fucking what are those things called? Like in like literally like canned air. Like if you huff
Yeah,
canned air, you can just straight up instantly die. Like instantly dead.
yeah. Just
And it's
explode
just
your
like
lungs real quick.
yeah, it's like what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like so like I'm not taking that just because like I mean maybe if I was like 70, like I'd be like all right, give me this fucking pill, let's fucking go. Be fast as fuck. But like I don't and like again maybe it would change if it was like a superpower thing because it's like oh like I could possibly fly, but I could also explode versus like oh I can just be like asa or I could die.
I
Like
could fly, but then accidentally float away into the stratosphere and then suffocate.
that's also true. See, that's the thing. Like, even when I thought was interesting about this, it's like even if you get the power, sometimes you get fucked,
Yeah,
which is like
yeah.
an interesting. I'm sure there's a metaphor for something there. I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like
that
the long-lasting effects of doing it too many times or something like that.
yeah, I think that a superhero power is more enticing than just like getting high and being like, "Ah, I'm high as
Right.
fuck." But I don't know. I feel like I'm too scared of just fucking exploding. Like I feel like it's not worth it.
I would definitely be one of those people who would be like, I'd be with someone and like, they take it first and I see what happens.
Mm.
If they explode, then I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm good. But like, even though it's like, the effects
You're gonna be
vary
like,
depending
"All
on the
right,
user.
cool."
All right, cool. I'm not taking that.
Mm.
But like, obviously, like from what I understand from the plot, like the effects vary depending on the user. Someone might
Yeah,
take it
everyone's
and it'll be
different.
fine. But some people will explode and they'll just die.
Yeah. Well, I assume nobody has the same power, which is part of it. But it also sounded like the government part of it might actually be able to tell before you take it.
Right. It
Um,
seemed like they were like the testing was a little bit more extensive, and they were just kind of like giving it to random people to see what would happen.
Kind of. I mean, because the girl that Casey Neistat brings, they offer it to her, but they also already had this giant like heat centric thing set up for her.
Right.
So it almost begs the question, like, who is she? How'd they know ahead of time? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, do they possibly know already, like, what your ability is, and they're just not telling people? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
know.
I thought the power of like the mob boss guy in that sequence. Remember, he took the pill and he turned into like this that big blob or whatever.
Yeah, he just turned into like a big ogre type thing.
He looked like fucking Scrappy from the Scooby Doo movie.
Kind of, yeah, like a big old beefy Scrappy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what that reminded me of.
that's
But
whack.
yeah, see, like powers like that, like you don't want.
Yeah,
But then there's like the dude who was robbing the bank, who was like a chameleon. Like
chameleon. Yeah.
that was sick.
I mean, I feel like I would want to be big Scrappy dude if there wasn't like a side effect on the down, like coming back down.
Yeah, you're probably all floppy.
I don't
You got
know. I
floppy
mean, like
skin.
he just kind of turned into Giant Man, but I assume he's done it before, right? Because like he did it. I
I
don't know.
guess. I mean, I guess he kind of turned into Giant Man, but he was definitely a deformed Giant Man. Like shit was not proportionate.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is, but like he was still moving. It wasn't like he was.
Yeah, he was definitely still trying to kill them, and like, but
Yeah, he was doing a good job.
yeah,
So
um,
interesting film.
yeah, very interesting, very cool.
Yeah.
Um, I, I feel like I'd like to see a sequel, but I also don't know what it would be about.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
It could be about like him taking the fight to them, but I feel like he did that when he blew up the boat.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and I don't even think they really need to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like they'd probably be on the run. Maybe it'll be more of like a government type of role. Maybe like the government would come after them, or like,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the reason that they did this was because the government didn't want the pills and they like refused to do testing, so they started just doing testing on like people on the street,
yeah,
which is another nicely used allegory or metaphor or whatever the fuck. Because
yeah,
obviously, the U.S. government has tested weapons of destruction on the poor of America. So
yeah. Another allegory for the
no
U.S.
cap.
government.
Yeah, MK Ultra type shit.
Yeah. Well, maybe they could also do something about like, how like the long-lasting effects of taking the pills and how it affects your body and that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's possible.
Another drug allegory. Just don't do
Yeah.
drugs.
I don't know. Cause like my thing was that like it's like it's one of those allegories for drugs. And I don't know if it's saying that you shouldn't take it, but like it's saying that it's dangerous, right? Like that's how it's setting the
Yeah,
tone.
exactly.
But yeah. But then Mitch viewed it not to I don't know if I have the quote from him, so I don't want to actually like strangle his words. But it was something like you only live once, so like hold up. He interpreted it as a way of saying just take the chance. Something bad could happen, but something great could also happen.
Sounds sounds like Mitch is selling them on the street.
That's what my actual answer was. Damn, you should sell cocaine.
Yeah,
But
something great
like,
could happen. You could also fuck up your life. You never know.
but I get what he's saying. It's like take the chance, and like you can possibly, which is an optimistic thing that like it's definitely a big Mitch vibe of
Mitch is an optimistic guy.
yeah.
Big respect.
And he is right. Like especially like we don't see that many like crazy powers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
nothing
like,
like insane.
but we could, because they were also based on animals, right? So like maybe there is a pill where it's like people all of a sudden their bones become hollow and they can just fly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's about taking the chance and like maybe
or like you
becoming something
sprout
else
wings or
and seeing what
something.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I like that aspect that they like. I thought it was really loose about like the animal thing. They kind of it was definitely like an eluded type of thing, but I like that. I like that
yeah,
idea.
I feel like most of them made sense except for the thermoregulation part. Like I
Yeah,
can't think of
yeah.
an animal that just sets on fire.
Well, it looked cool, John.
It was sick, honestly, and especially when they had those like different holes inside the building, and it's
Yeah,
like,
and he was like jumping through the different apartments and stuff.
yeah, like he just all of a sudden like drops to the floor on the second level, and it was sick.
Yeah, it was really sick.
Yeah,
Good sequence. Good effects. Good effects for the all the power special effects and whatnot.
yeah, I agree.
Really well done. Well done stuff.
Yeah, well,
Well,
I think that's
I
it.
think that
Yeah,
wraps it up. Yeah, I think that wraps up our
it's
thoughts.
tough. I mean, honestly, like it's just a film where it's like it's good, and it's like that's pretty much it. There's really not much to say. Like it just,
Yeah, I mean it's just good all around.
yeah,
Like,
it's
go
enjoyable.
watch it,
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you've already seen it if you're here, probably.
probably. But like, if yet,
Tell your
watch it.
friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends about it. Why not?
Tell your dad.
Yeah, watch it with your dad.
Yeah.
Definitely a good dad movie to watch. But that basically wraps up our discussion for the week. Um, Next week, we have another user submitted discussion
Yeah.
submitted Zoe Moss. Shout out Zoe Moss, John's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we're going to be recasting The Incredibles, but in a live action movie.
Which
If
is
they did
gonna
a live
be
action,
terrible.
it could be really bad, but it could be sick.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
I'm excited to see your Elastigirl pick.
Stop, bro. Stop.
Oh my god. Well, it's gonna be fun. You
Yeah.
guys should come back around for that one.
Gotta find a
Uh,
live action Disney thick mom.
yeah, dude. Uh, There's a, there. Oh, I know who I'm picking.
Stop, bro. Stop.
Oh my god. Anyway, come back to see our discussion for that, and of course, whatever news comes this week, we'll be discussing as well. But thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I guess we'll see you next week.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.